Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again. This is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you undiluted truth. Can we take a moment of silence to mourn the demise of democracy in Nigeria?
On this day, democracy died in Nigeria and was recently officially buried in Rivers State.
Honestly speaking, what we witnessed happened in Rivers State last weekend in the name of local government election, or perhaps selection by Wike. People called it Wike local government election and not Rivers State local government election. And you will understand that before the end of this video.
So I'm very happy with the turnouts of people. I've got a lot of reports from the rural areas that people came out very well to participate in this election. So I'm very happy.
All right.
So there are concerns whether this time around it has been gotten right, because from my interaction with Rivers people, they are concerned that the last time there was an election, it was cancelled eventually. What is your hope? What's that hope you have that will happen after the
There was no election. Supreme Court said there was no election. They nullified the election. I said there was no election. There was no election. Today we are holding election, and that's why you see people have come out to also cast their votes. If you do something that is not done to law, of course it will be set aside, and it was set aside. And now that the process is very clear and goes according to the law, nobody's worried. All people are doing is just to come out and cast their vote for whoever they want them to represent them at the local government level.
All right, Your Excellency, the local government election, of course, would ultimately restore democratic governance, at the local level. And of course, tell us what this will mean for Rivers people. Of course, the state of emergency would lapse by September. So what does this mean for Rivers people?
And that is why we have to thank Mr. President for taking the bold step to make sure that this election is conducted. First of all, if election is not conducted, you know that Supreme Court has said there's nothing like caretaker committees in local government. And if there are no elected people, it means that funds will not come from the federation account to local government councils. And that means that if the emergency rule is lifted and there's no local government election, we'll still have the same problem. And now that local government election is taking place, it means that they've elected people and then they will get funds directly for the federation account. So everybody was starting out to support the conduct of this particular election in order to stabilize the grassroots level. By the time the state of emergency is lifted on the 18th of September, it means that the governor and the state assembly will go back. So without local government, it will not have been complete. So we are very glad that today we are conducting this election, and by the end of the day, the elected people will emerge and they will be sworn in, and then we know that we have elected representatives at the grassroots level.
Within the notebook. So I don't know where the microphone is. Thank you very much.
Don't do microphone.
Please admit that. So I received this on behalf of all of you.
Good. Now, from all he has said, from all you heard him say now, it is clear the script have been perfected and acted upon. In conclusion, Wike have had his way. Because since the fight with Fubara got messier, He had no other option than to use federal might through Tinubu to ensure his control of Rivers State grassroots.
In our state here, we all agreed, I paid for every form. I paid. Nobody will say as he paid for any form to run for governorship. Nobody will say so. Nobody will say that he paid 1 naira to buy for House of Reps form. Nobody will say he paid 1 naira to buy assembly form. Nobody will say he paid 1 naira to buy Senate form. They're all here. So it is not only when something favors us, we were right. When it does not favor us, we are wrong. No. Every politician has his own interest. Every politician. And for me, anybody who knows me not well, what I will never take is threat. That one, you know me, I will not agree. I will not agree. If heaven will cut that, let heaven come down. So everybody will be at rest.
And true to his words, heaven actually came down on River State, and today he had his way.
And I'm going to fight for it. So that is the way I operate. I know in politics. Oh, they say they should bring 20 billion every month because somebody don't give you 20 billion. Oh, they say you want to award the whole country myself. That is politics. But nobody said this when I was fighting. Nobody said that. Everybody has a base. It's not true. Yes, sir. If you take my base, I'm not politically irrelevant. You can turn it to economic anything you want to say. It's your business. At the appropriate time, we will know who's right. I will know who's wrong.
They came up with the shenanigan of state of emergency. What was their target? To annul the local government election, impose a sole administrator who illegally conducted another local government election validated by the Supreme Court of Injustice, as some Nigerians may term it, who nullified the previous election of the local government conducted by an elected government. Today, the same Supreme Court is keeping mute. Everybody is falling in line. Wike have had his way. And a selection, we will call it, have happened. And APC swept almost the entire local government election in Rivers State. And now, he's telling us clearly that now that this selection has been perfected and he's now being in control of the resources, because it's all about the control of the resources of the people, who should be now be sent to his loyalists who are now occupying local government structures. Fubara and the state assembly can come back and continue. That is the kind of democracy we have in Nigeria, where one man is in control of the electoral body and also the judiciary at the same time, because that is what it is. Take it or leave it. That is the democracy we practice in Nigeria, and you call this one politics. Politics of personal interest, politics of primitive accumulation of public wealth, because that is what it's all about. Because I don't see if it is to serve the people. I think you have served enough for 8 years as a governor. But it is about the capture of collective patrimony of the people for personal interest. And that is what I played out. Now, it is not about exposing what Wike and his bandwagon of APC government of impunity is doing to Nigerian democracy. But it's about the Nigerian people who are the victims of their impunity, who have all fallen in line. Everybody is maintaining the status quo. If you speak, you die. If you don't speak, you are even dying the more. Nigerians, why don't you speak up? Not just speak up, but act up to put an end to this madness. It is all about you. There is no missing word. This is how they set up the structures of impunity. They are rigging machineries to ensure they come back come 2027. And you will continue being the victims of bad governance. So my advocacy is more or less on the people, not the politicians. Because if you take a look at this video, this is how elections are won in Nigeria. A typical of Rivers State election of the local government. This is how it's been won. These people that are doing these things, they are not politicians. They are the suffering poor masses of Nigeria, helping criminal-minded politicians into power by rigging them in, including the educated ones who stands in as returning officers, state collation officers, and the rest of them. That is how Nigeria will continue. In fact, Nigerians themselves will continue living in perpetual misery. I don't need to say too much. So when you're trying to blame politicians, blame yourselves first. These people are your brothers, they are your sisters, they are your friends, they are your relatives, they are acquaintances. And you know them. Call them out. Because ultimately, you will eventually be victims of your mischievousness and your stupidity during elections. I'm going to end it this way and here. It's up to you to share this video, to open up the thinking faculty of Nigerians, because many of them, they are mumu na factory fitted. We'll continue on this advocacy until Nigerians are ready to do the needful, to put an end to this impunity of bad governance. I still remain as your advocate for good governance. Help me share this video. Let me have your thoughts on the comment section. I'm signing out. Bye-bye for now. GGN, uniting the people for good governance.